Guys, welcome to another video. Today our topic is on rabies, and in this video we'll be talking about the symptoms of rabies, the treatment, and how it is transmitted. So let's get started. We'll start off with a short introduction on rabies. Rabies is a viral disease that affects the central nervous system of mammals, including humans. It is caused by the rabies virus, which is primarily spread through the saliva of infected animals, usually through a bite or scratch. Once the virus enters the body, it travels from the site of this bite to the brain, where it can cause inflammation and damage to the nervous system. This can lead to a range of symptoms, including fever, headache, muscle weakness, seizures, and paralysis. In the later stages of disease, rabies can also cause hallucinations, agitation, and aggression. Without prompt treatment, rabies is always fatal, which is why it is important to seek medical attention immediately after being bitten by an animal that may be infected with the virus. While rabies is relatively rare in humans in developed countries, it remains a significant public health threat in many parts of the world, particularly in areas where vaccination rates for pets and livestock are low. Rabies is primarily transmitted through the bite of an infected animal. The virus is present in the saliva of infected animals, and when they bite another animal or a human, they can transmit the virus through their saliva. The most common animals that transmit rabies to humans include dogs, bats, raccoons, skunks, and foxes. In some parts of the world, other animals such as monkeys can also transmit the virus to humans. It is important to note that not all animals with rabies show obvious signs of the disease. In fact, some infected animals may appear perfectly healthy, making it difficult to know if an animal is infected with the virus. That's why it is important to exercise caution around any wild or stray animals and to seek medical attention immediately if you are bitten or scratched by an animal. In addition to bites, rabies can also be transmitted through scratches or other wounds that come into contact with the saliva or other bodily fluids of an infected animal. It is also possible, although rare, for humans to contract rabies through organ transplants from infected donors. So the symptoms of rabies can vary depending on the stage of the disease. The incubation period, which is the time between the initial infection and the onset of symptoms, can range from a few days to several months and can vary depending on the location and severity of the bite. The first stage of rabies is called the prodromal stage, which typically lasts for 2 to 10 days. During this stage, some people may experience a range of nonspecific symptoms such as fever, headache, and fatigue. Other common symptoms during this stage include pain or tingling at the site of the bite, as well as anxiety, agitation, and irritability. The second stage of rabies is called the furious stage, which typically lasts for 2 to 4 days. During this stage, people may experience periods of extreme agitation and restlessness, as well as hallucinations and delusions. They may also experience seizures, muscle spasms, and difficulty swallowing. The final stage of rabies is called the paralytic stage, which can last for 2 to 4 days. During this stage, what happens is that the muscles in the body become progressively paralyzed, leading to difficulty in breathing and ultimately respiratory failure. In some cases, people may also experience cardiac arrest. It is important to note that not everyone with rabies will experience all of these symptoms, and the disease can progress much more likely in some cases. That's why it's important to seek medical attention immediately if you have been bitten by an animal and are showing any signs of rabies. As of today, there is no cure for rabies. Once symptoms develop, which is why it is important to seek medical attention immediately after being bitten by an animal that may be infected with the virus. Treatment for rabies typically involves a series of injections to prevent the virus from spreading through the body. The first step in treatment is to thoroughly clean the wound and administer a dose of the rabies vaccine. This is usually followed by a series of additional doses over the course of several weeks. In some cases, a medication called rabies immunoglobulin may also be given to provide additional protection against the virus. It is important to note that the rabies vaccine is highly effective when given promptly after exposure, but it must be given before symptoms develop. Once symptoms develop, the disease is almost always fatal. In addition to post-exposure prophylaxis, there are also pre-exposure vaccines available for people who are at high risk of exposure to rabies, such as veterinarians, animal control workers, and people who spend a lot of time in areas where rabies is common. If you have been bitten by an animal that may be infected with rabies, it is important to seek medical attention immediately, even if you have previously received the rabies vaccine. Prompt treatment can greatly reduce the risk of developing rabies. Rabies is a truly terrifying disease, but fortunately, it is also preventable. If you are traveling to a high risk area, make sure to get vaccinated before you go. If you are bitten by an animal, seek medical attention immediately. And if you have pets, make sure they are vaccinated against rabies. With the right precautions, we can protect ourselves and our loved ones from this deadly disease. Thank you for watching. I'll catch you in the next video.